Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week for your key to the week, before we get into that, I am doing a webinar with Heather from Astrology with Heather. You've seen us do the tarot and astrology project that we're currently working on. This webinar is about the 2020 to 2026 the 2020 to 2026 big picture. We're talking astrology, we're talking numerology, we're talking tarot. If you really want to be there, we've worked really hard on this and I think you're going to have an absolute blast. And yeah, it's a donations based webinar, so you can pay 50p or £50. It's completely up to you. If you want to be on that, check out the link in the description box below. With that said, yeah, for your key to the week, Libra, this week you get the Strength card, right? So this is about you finding your power. Remember the Strength card, you know, at base level, this really talks about strength. It talks about courage. It talks about your inner fortitude, where you find that inner courage to face whatever challenge you have to face, or to make the tough decision, to have the tough conversation, to walk the path that maybe nobody else understands. This week, you're gathering your strength, you're finding your courage in some way, shape or form. This is about you stepping out onto the wider world stage, or maybe even in a silent way, you know, but this is about you walking your path in all of its authenticity. This is about you standing your ground. It's about you saying, you know what? This is who I am. This is where I'm going from here. This is the way that I'm going to walk. And whether that puts me at odds with everybody else, unfortunately, I can't worry about that. What I have to do is focus on me and getting myself and my message out there. Okay, for your actions and options this week, what are you doing? How does this affect your actions, or what it is that you're doing, or how you show up this week? And this week you get the Devil card, right? So this is where you are choosing to break one of your own bad habits. This is where this week you are saying to yourself, right, you know what? I've done this for too long. I've done this cycle, this pattern. I have been addicted to this thing or this person for too long. This situation in my life has gone on for long enough, and now I'm choosing to break it. This could be, for some of you, it will be smoking, drinking, you know, maybe eating, maybe it's sugar, maybe it is, you know, it'll be different for everybody. But whatever your vice is, whatever that crutch is that you are using or have used constantly, or, you know, for too long or for too much, this week it's being highlighted to you. This is where you get to say, right, you know what? I'm knocking that on the head. This is where you find that inner courage, that inner strength to break one of your own bad habits. And for a lot of you, this will have something to do with either your physical body, so again, or something that affects your physical health in that regard. For your communications and conversations, you have the Five of Wands. So this week, right, it's funny because I mentioned this earlier, having that tough conversation, really being able to say, look, you know what, this has gone on long enough, this has gone on far enough. Now, it's interesting as well, because I also said about you walking your own path, right? And what it looks like, because the Five of Wands is about groups. This can be about group interactions or people that we interact with, you know, in a group setting. So this can be colleagues, it can be co-workers, it can be fellow students, it can even be family members, right? But it looks like this week maybe you are coming up against some sort of contention from the outside world, and where usually you might sort of maybe concede to somebody else's point of view, or maybe you would take somebody else's word or let somebody else do you know what I mean? Like, it's where you would usually back down. This week, it's kind of like you're saying no, right? I've done all of that. I've done the self-censoring, the self-editing, the the self-deprecating on behalf of other people. I'm not doing it anymore. This is how I'm stepping forward, and I'm going to have the strength and the courage to walk my path. Come what may, this is it. This is how we move forward from here. Fair play to you, Libra, because it really does look like you are standing your ground this week. For your money and materials, you have the Page of Swords. So it looks like a lot of you are either going after an interview. Some of you, it looks like you're really looking to change the industry altogether. And that Strength card literally is shining right on the Page of Swords. It's kind of like, well, you know what? This is going to be a big change. This is going to take me in a different direction that I can't even fathom at the moment, but I'm going for it anyway. And the chances are, I mean, especially with the Five of Wands there, you're going to beat out the competition anyway, right? So you're definitely going to get what it is that you're going after, whatever it is that you're asking for, especially if this is new work or if it's a promotion. It may be that it makes you unpopular to go for this thing because you'd usually put somebody else forward, or you would usually consider somebody else to, to nominate. Only this time you're nominating yourself. This time you're going after what you want, what you need, and you're not afraid or shy to get it. And that's actually a really good thing. It's going to take you out of that people-pleasing energy and start putting you into that self-pleasing energy. For your home and environment in terms of your materials, it does look like I'm seeing a lot of moves this week. Seeing a lot of energy changing around the home for a lot of the signs, which is really interesting. Now, I don't think the move will be happening this week, but it does look like a lot of you are either making that inquiry or you're starting to build the plan of how you can sort of step out of where it is that you are. And then for your physical health, this week, it's like a complete overhaul. There's a lot of you that are kind of like, right, you know what, I'm going in a new direction. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And rather than talk about it, you're just doing it. There's no sort of grandiose announcements. It's just action, action, action. Fair play to you. For your love and relations, you have the Emperor card, right? So this is your direct opposite in the zodiac because it's Aries. So the fact that you get your opposite in your love and relations kind of is interesting. For those of you that are partnered, you could be looking at your relationship, especially those of you that are married. This could be the week where you either call out a partner or where you kind of lay the law down to them and say, right, this is what I need. This is what I feel like I'm not getting. If you can't give me that, if you can't, or at least try to get us to this place, I'm going to have to think about the connection that we have. It could be this week, I'm sorry to say, if you're partnered, you might be having a challenging conversation. With the Five of Wands above this though, one thing that I would be very cautious of, this is not a week to go sort of blabbering to girlfriends or boyfriends about, they did this and they did that. It's not a week for that. This is a week for you to close ranks, deal with it in-house, and then see what it is after you've kind of had the tough conversation. Don't let people meddle this week. It's really, really important. For those of you that are single, it looks like you could be meeting somebody. It's really weird because this energy keeps coming up for Libra. For those of you that are single, it really does feel like you're about to, or you're aligning with somebody that works in a uniform, somebody that has that, and this keeps coming up for your sign. So I wonder what's going on there. I feel like it will be somebody that this could be somebody that's a police officer, somebody that works as a nurse or a doctor, somebody whose title is, whose profession is their title and their title is their profession. Do you know what I mean? So a uniformed service or an armed service or something of that nature. I mean, military for definite. Five of Wands and the Emperor card for sure. But equally, it could also be somebody that is a teacher or a personal trainer. So, somebody whose work is their lifestyle and lifestyle is their work, but very likely to be somebody that works in uniform. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.